Are back here on NEC Front Row about to kick off the second half between Mercyhurst and LIU, but we are going to have a special guest throughout the first minutes of the second half. We just honored him on the court, and we are pleased to be joined by Tom Herman here on the broadcast. Tom, thank you so much for coming up. We really appreciate your time. Just take us through your emotions when everyone was celebrating you on the court.
I was not expecting that. I mean, I was worried that I wouldn't get the words out I needed to get out, but I kind of got them out. But Laura's award with the Old Main roof part, and then Bob Mersky with the House of Representatives award, that was really touching. So, but we've had such a great turnout. There had to be 40 or 50 ex-Mercyhurst people here, 10 or 12 Edinboro guys, and a bunch of coaches. So it's really been touching to see this many come out. And I had so many texts today and calls from guys that couldn't make it. So it's really touching.
Down low inside Moore, and he gets a go for the first bucket of the second half. And Tom, I would love to go back to the beginning. Former player at Edinboro. If you remember, when did you decide that you wanted to be a coach?
High school.
In high school,
I went to Edinboro because I wanted to be in phys ed, because I knew that you had to be back then you had to be a phys ed, college phys ed teacher. So you had to have your master's in health and physical education. I went there. They did not allow men. They stopped allowing men to be in the phys ed program. So I took up social studies, then went to Marshall University, took undergrad courses, went to Marshall for my master's in education. As
the Lakers retake possession ahead by 2. And Tom, about your time at Marshall, you were a grad assistant there with head coach Jack Lengel in 1974. So I'm sure that everybody listening knows the story about what Marshall went through during that time. So how was that like for you being a part of the program at that time, knowing it was 3 years removed from the plane crash?
Well, we started out the season when all the kids came back to camp. Before we practiced, we all went to the cemetery where all the persons that were killed on the plane were buried, and had a church service and a burial service there. So started out with a lot of emotion. The kids had a lot of emotion. And there were several people still on the team that did not make the trip, that had friends on the plane. And most of the coaches were new, except for Red. He was the only returning guy.
As that one is through for Christian Gamble, and the Lakers retake the lead. As a result, 2 minutes gone by in the first half. And Tom, of course, after you left Marshall, you decided to come back home, and you were on the staff of Edinboro for 10 years. So how was that like, too, you mentioned before, how was that like seeing some of the guys that you coached at Edinboro here joining you in the 10 years you were an assistant?
It's great, because when I graduated from Edinboro, I taught at Cambridge Springs, but I coached at Edinboro, too. So I kind of helped Cambridge Springs with football, but I did like weekend scouting, game plan Sunday and Monday, winter workouts, summer workouts, spring ball. So I did all that with Edinboro for 2 years. Then I went to Marshall. So when I came back, I went back to teach at Cambridge, and I coached the defensive line in '75. So I came back. I was there for 11 more seasons. So as a player and a coach, I was there 17 seasons overall.
And how did the opportunity come about for you to get your first taste of coaching Division I football when you went up to New England to be the linebackers coach and the recruiting coordinator at New Hampshire for 3 seasons?
Well, I had really good friends with their whole staff. I did summer camps with them. So when I was at Edinboro and I felt I was in line to get the head coaching job, they just chose someone else. So I felt I wanted to give that person space, so I moved on and went to New Hampshire. And was there for 2 years. So I had 3 or 4 close friends, and we had coached similar defenses. So, I was good friends with the defensive coordinator, outside backer coach. So we were, it was a great transition because we coached the same defense.
And, of course, you came back to Erie, becoming the head coach at Gannon for 11 seasons from 1989 to 1998. So how was that experience like being a head coach when you were at Gannon for that decade before you came to Mercyhurst?
Hold on one second.
As we
My wife keeps calling me. She doesn't know where I'm at.
As we continue to move on here in the second half, a 50-49 lead at the moment for the Lakers. Malachi Davis controlling for the Sharks. Davis going inside, Lemmelman on him. He lost the handle, and there's a foul towards the direction of Kadir Martin. Kadir Martin capping off the first half with a dozen, and it seems that the foul's actually going to go against Jake Lemmelman. That'll be his second. Kadir Martin was towards the ball as well. So now we're back with Tom. So how was that opportunity like for you, Tom, to get that first taste of being a head coach when you were at Gannon, and then of course stayed there for the decade that you did?
It was a lot of fun. I went to Slippery Rock when I left New Hampshire. George Mahalik had gotten the job. I had coached and played against him. So I called him up to wish him good luck. He said, Herm, why don't you come back and be my defensive coordinator? So I went back and became the defensive coordinator in Slippery Rock. And at that time, Edinboro and Slippery Rock were big rivals. So it's tough going back there because there were 10 or 15 starters I was coaching against that I had recruited to Edinboro. And then after 1 year, Gannon called me and wanted me to interview for their job, and I had gotten that, so I was there for 10 years.
As Jake Lemmelman trying to go inside, pointing it up off glass, no good. Thomas trying to grab the rebound, and it goes to Mason Porter-Brown. And when did the opportunity come for you, Tom, to come over here to the suburban part of Erie to join Joe Kimball's staff in 1999?
When I made the decision to retire from Gannon, it was time for me to go. And when I left, I became, even though we were rivals, Joe Kimball was the head coach at Mercyhurst, so we became rival friends. So when I quit Gannon, he called me up right away, wanted me to come up and be the line coach. And then when Garvey, who was a Gannon grad, and Billingsley, who were grads, found out that I wouldn't mind coming up, they brought me in for lunch. They hired me as an administrator, football coach, and I did both those jobs.
And I know that you obviously stayed on the staff along after Joe Kimball left. Marty Schatzel, of course, taking over for him, coming over from Bucknell. And I'm sure that you guys had a lot of terrific memories in the 19 years that Coach Marty was here. But I know one of the more memorable seasons for the program was when you guys won the PSAC in 2010. So how was that like being on the staff on that year when you guys took down Bloomsburg in the PSAC championship game and then going to the NCAA tournament for the first time?
It was the most exciting season because we always seemed to finish strong. We'd lose a couple games early and then win the rest. And we just kept getting stronger. We upset IUP, and then from there just really rolled people. The last game of the regular season was Cal, and they had won so many conference games in a row. We ended up upsetting them and beating them, and we had a great game. And after that, we played Bloomsburg in the state championship, beat them, had a bye in the national playoffs, came back and played Bloomsburg again in the second round, beat them again, and then lost to Shepherd.
Yeah, and talking about your time going up against IUP, and it's something that we've talked about here on our broadcast at Mercyhurst all season with the memorable story in college football this year with Curt Cignetti, of course, getting his start, coming back to IUP, obviously taking over for the program that his dad built. So, what do you have to say about the job that Curt Cignetti has done with Indiana, knowing that you coached against him for all those years he was at IUP?
Oh, he's done a hell of a job. I mean, no one's ever done anything like that. So all you can do is give him praise. They were rivals. I had a really close friend that I roomed with in college at Edinboro that coached the O-line there as well. So we used to coach against each other. But it's exciting to see someone that you coached against have that kind of success. And he deserves it, and he earned it, and I'm happy for him.
And we also cannot talk about your time at Mercyhurst without talking about the jump to the NCAA Division I ranks with, of course, your first year as a NCAA Division I program last year. So what was your first reaction when you first heard that the university was going to be moving up to the NEC? And how did it feel knowing that you were going to have the opportunity to coach Division I football again?
At first it was surprising, but then when you looked at the rationale, it was a perfect fit. We were playing against state schools that cost very little money. It's hard to recruit against them. It was hard to beat Slippery Rock and IUP in recruiting in Cal. All our teams in our league are private schools. They recruit with scholarship money, academic money, and financial aid. They group money together the same way as we do. So it was more of a private school type fit, except for Southern Connecticut. And going up to Division I, it's proven that, a lot of schools are in jeopardy numbers-wise, enrollment-wise. We're enrollment-driven. Kids have a better draw going to Division I. When your school's to Division I, that sounds more exciting to them. So it's better for enrollment. So it's better for us to compete because we're competing the same way as scholarships that the other guys have. And we're competing against some top teams too, like some FBS teams next year too. So it's exciting.
And, of course, there's also going to be a new era for Mercyhurst football entering into 2026 with Coach Saideski taking over for Coach Remedio, who was also here today in the audience. So you had a chance to coach with Coach Saideski over these past few years. So how excited are you for him to be the new captain leading this program into the future?
Oh, I am. I'm excited for Ryan. Ryan earned it. He had a great defensive year. Ryan had a great opportunity to go to Youngstown. I think he would like to move up the ranks in Division I. They are a little bit higher level at this point in Division I, have more money. So he has a chance to move up the ranks. So I really appreciate everything Ryan's done. Tom is really a great offensive coordinator. He's a great leader. I'm sure he'll step into Ryan's shoes and also do a great job. So he's going to complement Ryan very well. The only thing that'll different is that we have a head coach that's an offensive coordinator, and then we'll have a defensive coordinator, which is Bryce Dempsey. Before it was a head coach, it was a defensive coordinator, and the other coach was an offensive coordinator. So they just kind of switched roles. But we've kept some of the core coaches intact. We're going to run the same offense, same defense. A lot of the players are excited that we're staying the same. So when we did the hire from within,
as Furman connects there, and the Lakers retake the lead.
When we hire from within, we saved a lot of guys that may have gone to the portal. So that was a great move by our administration.
And Coach, it's just like, how has it been for you just to see everyone here, all your friends, all your family, former players, your former coaches? Just how has all of those emotions just boiled here as we celebrate you today?
Just grateful. I mean, you don't realize sometimes a lot of your players, ex-players, like there's 10 Edinboro guys here that I coached when I was really young. One guy I played with. Have them come back is really, in the first D line that I coached, they all came back except one that's deceased. So it's a great honor to have the guys, the first varsity job you had, they all came back. And then to see all the other Mercyhurst guys that showed up, it's very flattering. And I learned a lot from them. They always tell me how much they learned from me, but I learned a lot from them too.
So what are some things, if you've been thinking about, that you plan on maybe doing in retirement now?
Well, right now I'm still helping Tom as a consultant, which means I'm going to be involved with Tom in meetings, fundraising, and the golf outing and those things. So I'm still have an office. I'm like a part-time coach. My wife retired yesterday from her job working with the state for 26 years. So, but it's nice to have a place to go every day. It's going to be a lot of fun to still work with the staff. But when you take away recruiting and you take away a position coach with playbook stuff, it takes a lot off your plate. So I can just help the Mercyhurst family. I got over 450 Mercyhurst cell numbers, which I'll be in charge of the alumni. So it's going to be a fun ride. Still have something to do every day.
And finally for you, Tom, when you started out coaching college football, did you think that this was going to be something that you were going to stay in for 51 years?
Oh, yeah, no question. I didn't know I would last this long, but, I wanted to be a coach. That was always my goal. And the way things worked out, it was a fun ride because all the relationships that you have along the way. Because I always felt that coaching, there's X's and O's involved, but if in coaching, you have to be interested in the player's best interests as people, as students, as athletes, socially, mentally. And so I felt coaching was about relationships. So we had a lot of ties, a lot of bonding. And I think we're going to go to a Cornerstone after this and bond a little bit more.
And are we still going to see you in the stands of Saxon Stadium or maybe on the sidelines watching Mercyhurst moving?
I'll be on the sidelines or up in the booth for most of the games. There'll be a couple of games I may want to go to that are big, other games, but I want to be here for our kids. We have a great group of kids coming back, and we can keep them healthy, I think we have a chance to win the conference next year.
Tom, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much.
That is